Today, these toys from the 70s have been deemed too dangerous, but kids back then played with them and no one thought about the harm they caused. Watch until the end and you'll learn about 9 iconic toys from the 70s that were banned. Aquadots. In the 70s, Aquadots seemed like a fun and safe toy. Kids could arrange small, colorful beads into patterns and then spray them with water to make them stick together, creating different shapes. Children loved assembling their creations because the process was simple and entertaining. Many parents bought Aquadots for their kids, believing it was a harmless activity. But everything changed when it was discovered that the beads contained a chemical that, when ingested, turned into a dangerous toxin. Several children accidentally swallowed the beads, leading to serious poisoning and hospitalizations. After these incidents, Aquadots were recalled from the market in the late 70s, and the toy quickly disappeared. Another toy that could lead to injuries. Johnny Reb Cannon. Many boys dreamed of owning a Johnny Reb Cannon, a toy cannon that looked like a real artillery piece. It was a wonder for those who loved war games. The cannon could fire plastic projectiles over a significant distance, and kids enjoyed staging battles in their yards. Firing this toy made every child feel like a real artillery soldier. But here's the scary part. The Johnny Reb Cannon was so powerful that its projectiles could break windows if they hit them, and if they accidentally hit someone's face or eyes, it could lead to serious injuries. Back then, parents weren't as concerned about toy safety, but today a toy like this would never pass safety checks. And this next toy caused serious injuries to those brave enough to play with it. Slip and slide. In the 70s, the slip and slide was every child's dream. Imagine a long slippery plastic sheet laid out on the grass, where you could race down like a water slide. All you had to do was turn on the water and kids would have hours of fun. It seemed like the perfect summer activity for hot days. But here's the issue. The slip and slide was safe only for small children. Teenagers and adults who tried to slide on it often ended up with serious injuries. There were reports of broken bones, neck injuries, and even spinal damage. In 1993, the toy was recalled after several such incidents. The next game was banned after a tragic incident. Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper. In 1978, the Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper toy became a huge hit with kids fascinated by space battles. This miniature spaceship was part of the popular TV show, and every child wanted one. The toy could shoot small plastic missiles, which added excitement to the playtime. But soon, it became clear that the toy's design was too dangerous. The small missiles could easily fly out of the ship and be accidentally swallowed. In 1978, tragedy struck when a child died after swallowing one of the missiles, leading to a mass recall of the toys. Mattel tried to redesign the toy by removing the firing function, but by then its popularity had already faded. Would you want to play with this toy that emitted toxic fumes? Shrinky Dinks. In the 1970s, Shrinky Dinks became a huge hit among kids who loved crafting. The concept was simple. Kids would color plastic sheets, cut out shapes, and then heat them in the oven. Right before their eyes, the plastic would shrink and turn into small, sturdy figurines. It seemed like magic. But here's the problem. When heated, the plastic released toxic fumes that could be harmful to health. Kids often didn't wait for the figurines to cool and would burn themselves trying to take the hot plastic out of the oven. Back then, toy safety wasn't as rigorously checked as it is today, and such issues often went unnoticed. And this next toy could cause chemical poisoning. Super Elastic Bubble Plastic. In the 1970s, super elastic bubble plastic was one of the most entertaining toys. Imagine squeezing colorful paste from a tube, wrapping it around the end of a straw, and blowing up giant elastic bubbles that you could hold in your hands. It was somewhere between soap bubbles and plastic, and kids couldn't get enough of this fun process. But here's the problem. The paste contained vinyl acetate, and as kids blew up the bubbles, they often inhaled the fumes, which could cause poisoning. Moreover, the paste could easily end up in their mouths or be accidentally swallowed, making the toy even more dangerous. Another hazardous toy from that era: Belt Buckle Derringer. In the 1970s, the Belt Buckle Derringer toy seemed perfect for adventure lovers. It was a miniature toy gun hidden right in the belt buckle. All you had to do was press a button, and the gun would shoot small bullets. Kids loved feeling like cowboys armed with such a clever device. However, the danger of this toy quickly became apparent. The bullets fired at such high speed that they could easily hit someone in the face or eyes, causing serious injuries. In some cases, the toy guns even caused small explosions when fired, making them even more hazardous. Another toy meant for girls that caused allergic reactions: Mattel Powder Puff. In 1972, the Mattel Powder Puff became a huge hit among girls who dreamed of being like grown-ups. It was a children's makeup set that included powder, which could be applied to the face using a small puff. Kids were thrilled to play pretend, mimicking their moms and acting like real ladies. But it was later discovered that this toy was not as harmless as it seemed. The powder contained talc, which, when inhaled, could cause serious respiratory issues, especially in small children. There were reported cases of skin irritation and even allergic reactions. Eventually, Mattel Powder Puff was pulled from the shelves when it became clear that it posed a health risk. How could they even release this toy, which contained serious chemicals? Chemistry sets. In the 1970s, chemistry sets were every science-loving child's dream. These kits allowed kids to conduct real chemical experiments right at home. The sets included various substances and tools, enabling children to mix chemicals and observe fascinating reactions. For many, this was an exciting gateway into the world of science. But the problem was that these experiments often became dangerous. Some sets contained hazardous chemicals like sulfuric acid or potassium, which could cause burns, explosions, or release toxic fumes. Accidents involving burns and chemical injuries were not uncommon, making these sets too risky for home use. Toys from the 70s brought joy and adventure to children, but many of them didn't meet the safety standards we expect today. Some could lead to serious injuries, and as a result, they remain a thing of the past. Did you have any of these toys?